I am so sorry for keeping you so long, Mrs. Woodlock. A bass voice brought Maggie back from her deep thought. Hello, I am Charles Bain, he greeted, extending his hands to her. Maggie stood on her feet as she took his hands, wishing she had an opportunity to look herself over in the ladies' room first before he came. As far as she was concerned, she must be looking terrible. Come on to my office. Charles beckoned her to the elevator. The interview will be very short. Just want to be sure you are the right person for the job, though I have gone through your resume with satisfaction. 10th floor, and the elevator door opened into a long passage with various offices to the left and the right. John Hans had asked her to mail her resume a week before, and she did so almost immediately because she had one already prepared just after she got married, but her ex-husband will not agree to her getting a job, so she wanted to use it as a threat to get him release her to pursue her dream of starting a fashion house. But for 2 years he kept telling her to be patient, reason why she still had his last name, though she doesn't think she should strike out the name yet as their divorce was still fresh. Take your seat. Charles motioned to the chair on the other side of his table while he sat on his own chair. Charles was not at all convinced she will be interested in a job. Looking at her dressing and elegance, she looked something out of his own world, but rather what should be expected only in the Hollywood movies. Her long legs were spotless and her skin looked very attractive, matching her facial curve. She smiled at him, but he felt she could do better. He had seen various people come for interview, and most of them are either nervous or afraid of outcomes, therefore performing less than their potential, but for this beautiful piece sitting opposite him is different. He could only say she looked worried. Besides that, her confidence say it all. John Hans called me to say you will be very good for the job, so I really don't think I need to interview you since he is the boss and knows what this office entails, he said, still looking at her from the side of his eye, careful not to betray his interest. Until then, she had said very little. Charles has been having issues with his wife Becky. He sometimes wish he just walk away from home because of her nagging. He had used work as an excuse to stay out late. Their marriage began to show signs of failure since he took up the new position in the office as the head of operations, a position that kept him traveling from one country to the other. Becky kept complaining that he was not giving her and their daughter enough time. Even when he tried to explain, she will not just have it. Of late he noticed that she goes through his phone calls and SMS for anything that will prove a foul play. She also had gotten to the point of tapping his calls. He loves Becky so much, but he has been considering divorce as an option against his principles. Looking at Maggie, he wondered if he can really work with her without doing the unimaginable. He admitted to himself that he was vulnerable, but he had to be careful. He can't afford to mess up his life and profession. Meeting her eyes was difficult for him as he fears it may betray him, so he made sure he kept his hands and face busy while he spoke with her. I can use the help of a secretary right now because my workload has become unbearable. So when do you want to start? Anytime you think I should start will be fine by me, sir, she said, carefully spelling her words. She had already noticed uneasiness in his approach and had to warn herself of impending danger. He almost told her to call him Charles, but refrained. They will have to keep the relationship purely formal. If not, he wonder if he can survive this pretty-looking lady for a week. Okay, what about Monday? There is very little you can do this few days, so I advise you use today and possibly tomorrow to sort with human resource, he said, and stretched his hands to her. Congratulations. She took his hand and thanked him. See you Monday, Mrs. Woodlock. Call me Maggie. She wanted to say she's divorced, but the words stuck to the roof of her mouth. The chemistry was immediate as he shook her hand. Okay, Maggie, you can also call me Charles. Instantly Charles knew that he will not be able to survive the lady. There is something about her that is irresistible. Maggie left, but all through the day, Charles could not take his mind off Maggie. He had never felt for a lady at first meeting. He told himself he'd need help.